theme parks can be fun places, but they can also be deadly places. Welcome to Willy UK, and we will be counting down the top 10 deadliest theme park accidents of all time. And kicking off our list at number 10 is the Fuji Radian roller coaster in Expo Land, Osaka, Japan. Expo Land, located in Suta, Osaka, Japan, was a thriving amusement park for 37 years. It was opened at the International Expedition in 1970, with more than 40 rides and attractions and 19 shops and restaurants. Things took the turn to the worst on May the 5th, 2007. In Japan's worst amusement park disaster, the Fuji Radian roller coaster was derailed and a car went flying off the tracks. A 19-year-old university student was killed and 19 others were injured. An investigation showed that a broken axle caused the derailment, and none of the ride's axles have been replaced for 15 years. Similar coasters across Japan were closed for inspection of the same problem. Expo Land was cited by authorities for faulty maintenance, with similar cracks were found at different coasters a month later. The park reopened but quickly closed in December 9th, 2000, never to be reopened again. The park cited a lack of customers as a reason for closing. And sliding its way into number 9, water slide at Waterworld, USA, California, USA. In 1997, the water slide at Waterworld, USA in California turned deadly. Water slides have always been a top cause of theme park injuries, since they are often geared with poor safety precautions, short walls, and the likelihood of hitting your head and knocking yourself out is a real concern. In 1997, a gaggle of 33 high school graduate seniors crowded the water slide, causing the slide to collapse under the weight. A 17-year-old died from crushed chest, and all 32 others were taken to hospital. Later that month, at the graduation ceremony, 17 students accepted their diplomas in wheelchairs. And races its way into number 8 is Derby Racer roller coaster at Revere, Massachusetts, United States of America. One of the first wooden racing roller coasters, the original Derby Racer was built in 1911. More than a quarter of all racing roller coasters ever built were constructed in the 1900s and the 1910s. The coaster twin track were laid out in a figure of 8. You can imagine the safety precautions were not quite up to snuff in the time period. Shortly after the coaster opened on June 8th, 1911, a young man was catapulted from the coaster and killed on impact. Not a good start for the Derby's less than stellar safety record. 6 years later, another man was killed on the coaster after being thrown in front of the coaster train and ran over. In 1929, a third fatality struck with another rider being thrown from the train. The last death resulted in 1935 Massachusetts' Supreme case against the operator of the coaster, Ocean View Amusements. The coaster was demolished in 1936, only for a new racer of the same name to open up a year later, just to be demolished again in 1948. And floating in at number 7 is Tidal Wave Pool at Action Park, Vernon, New Jersey, United States of America. Action Park is known as one of the most dangerous, deadliest theme parks ever built. It was opened in 1978 and closed in 1996 due to injury reports and the decline in customers. It also has one of the first water parks in the United States. 6 people are known to have died from the rides at Action Park due to drowning, electrocutions, heart attacks, and face smashing against rocks. Arguably the most dangerous attraction at Action Park was the wave pool, nicknamed the Grey Pool by locals. It was a turbulent waterbound mosh pit with at least 12 lifeguards always being on duty, and as many as 30 saves being performed over a busy weekend. On July 24th, 1982, a 15-year-old boy drowned in the pool. 2 years later, on August 27, 1984, a 20-year-old drowned, and on July 18th, 1987, an 18-year-old met the same fate. A popular list of you're from Jersey when circulated and began with you've been seriously injured at Action Park. The park was shut down in 1996 amidst lawsuits and reopened as Mountain Creek Water Park in 1998, focusing on upgrading safety precautions. they changed their name back to Action Park in April 2014. And coming in at number 6 is the Human Trebuchet at Middlemore Water Park, Somerset, England, United Kingdom. It probably isn't a great idea to combine one of the most powerful medieval sledge weapons built to hurdle borders at castle walls with human subjects. For bored residents of Bridgewater, Somerset, England, it must have seemed like a good idea at the time. Middlemore Water Park came up with a winning combination of powerful sledge engines and awesome amusement bike rides for all ages. In Oxford Dangerous Sports Club enthusiastic period piece Trebuchet, not the most accurate or safest device ever invented, after 2 Oxford undergraduates unfortunately missed the purpose of safety net and splattered on the ground. Police arrested 2 operators and charged them with operating a medieval sledge weapon without a licence. And that's how the story goes. Coming in at number 5, Kings Island, Ohio, United States of America. The grounds of King Island are thought to be haunted since the tragic events of June 9th, 1991. An episode of Sci-Fi Channel, Ghost Hunters, was filmed at the park in 2012, and people have reported sightings of a little girl in a blue dress. On the fateful day, death lingered all around the park. First, a man fell into a pond, innocent accident sure, when his friend 20-year-old William Halfcoat and 20-year-old park employee Darryl Robinson jumped in to rescue him. Rescue someone from a fall into a pond? There must be more to this story. All 3 suffered an electric shock, killing both Halfcoat and Robinson. Ironically, the man they were trying to save was the only survivor. An hour later, after that incident, 32-year-old Candy Taylor fell from the ride, the falling commander, and died on impact. Kings Island is still open and has won the award for the safest kids area in the world by Amusement Today for 13 consecutive years. That's 2001 to 2013. And bending its way into number 4 is Mindbender at Galaxyland Amusement Park, Alberta, Canada. The Mindbender's the world's largest indoor triple loop roller coaster. It's also a roller coaster with one of the worst accidents of all time. Originally dubbed one of the safest roller coasters in the world by German manufacturers of the coaster, that was anything but the case on the evening of June 14th, 1986. The day the worst nightmare of roller coaster riders happened. The symbols on the left inside wheel assembly of the last car caused the forward car trains to de-engage from the track. The final car fishtailed widely, colliding with the support structures, throwing off passengers, stalling at the final loop, sliding backwards and crashing into the concrete pillar. 3 of the people on the car were killed, either by falling to the ground or hanging on the track, with the 4th man being seriously injured in the chest and the neck. At the time of the accident, the park was packed with people watching concerts. Many of the concert goers were given a horrific view and the band playing over the derailing coaster. The ride opened 7 months later with new safety measures, and since then had an excellent safety record. And dipping its way into number 3 is the Big Dipper at Battersea Funfair, London, England, United Kingdom. The worst roller coaster tragedy in history happened in England in May of 1972 at London's Battersea Park Funfair. The old wooden coaster was the main attraction of the park, giving riders all the rickety thrills they could ask for. Wooden coasters have a track record of wearing out quickly unless they are maintained. Negligence such as were the cause for the tragedy. In the summer of '92, the ropes that brought the cars to the top of the launch hill snapped. Then the anti-rollback mechanism failed. With that double whammy, the chains of the car backed into the boarding area and smashed into the wall, killing 5 children and seriously injuring 13 others. Battersea Funfair did not recover from this incident and closed 2 years later. And at number 2, Eco Adventure Valley Space Journey at overseas Chinese town East in Shanjing, China. The eco-adventure journey was supposed to simulate a rocket launch. On June 29th, 2010, the thrill-seeking riders got much more than they bargained for. The ride was sort of a multi-car that rolled inside a doom screen and portrayed a movie about space. During the ride, one of the cars suddenly came loose and lost all power around the chamber and started an electrical fire before plunging out the sky 45 feet to the ground. With more than 44 people inside, 6 people were killed, 5 were critically injured, with more than 5 sustained serious injuries, and most of the people taken to hospital were unconscious. Reports say the tragedy occurred because a faulty screw came loose. There are no rides in China with that much impact force. The dome weighed 5 tons and the impact force could have doubled that. And screaming its way into the top of the list, Haunted Castle at Six Flags Great Adventure, Jackson Township, New Jersey, United States of America. Surprisingly, the worst accident in the history of theme parks wasn't from a catapulted roller coaster or space simulator gone wrong. It was from a haunted house. One of the few rides where people are on their feet, not suspended into the air, and it seemed almost impossible that such a tragedy can happen, short of everyone suffering a fear-induced heart attack, which was not the case. As if straight out carry, the horrific event took place on May the 11th, 1984, when the castle burnt into flames. The wind-whipped flames scored the over 2,000 degrees, melting the metal walls and turning the interior into a raging inferno. Most of the people inside the castle escaped safely, but 8 teenagers became trapped and died in the blaze. Their body was torched beyond recognition. The park was brought up for charges lacking safety precautions like sprinklers and smoke detectors, but Six Flags accepted responsibility because the castle was considered a temporary structure. Arson was most likely to be the cause of fire. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, please subscribe to my channel. I will be uploading a top 10 video a few times a week. So thank you for watching this video, and until next time, have a great day. Dipping its way into number 3, the Big Dipper at Battersea Fun Fair, London, England, United Kingdom.